Hi everyone, welcome to our Cloud Tagna YouTube channel, Module 5 of Learn Azure in 60-minute series. Today we are going to talk about Azure Virtual Machines. In this module, we will look at all aspects of Azure Virtual Machines. Let's get started. Let's quickly recap what we have discussed so far. First, we started understanding cloud services. Then we talked about Azure Global Architecture, Azure Networking and storage features. Today we will explore all aspects of Azure Virtual Machines. After completing this one, you will have a good understanding of Azure Virtual Machine from deployment, security and architectural perspective, which helps when you are architecting your cloud solutions. First, let's understand what is virtual machine. Azure Virtual Machines is the on-demand, highly scalable compute resource which you can create on the Azure portal. Azure Virtual Machine supports Windows and Linux images. And your virtual machines has to be attached with disk to store your operating system data. And this disk either can be managed disk or unmanaged disk. Microsoft recommending us to use managed disk to get the predictable performance. You can deploy and manage your virtual machines through Azure Portal or Azure CLI commandlets. Finally, your virtual machine price is determined by the compute sizes. Now let's see what are the sizes available for you to choose from. There are several compute categories such as general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, GPU optimized, storage optimized and high performance computing. B-series VMs and D-series VMs are part of general purpose categories, and these types of VMs are ideal for testing and development environments, also suitable for less traffic web servers. And F-series VMs are part of compute optimized series, which are suitable for medium traffic web servers. And E-series VMs are part of memory optimized series, which are suitable for relational database workloads. GPU optimized VMs are targeted for heavy graphic rendering workloads, and storage optimized VMs gives high disk throughput, which are ideal for data warehousing solutions. Finally, high performance computing VMs are designed for highly intensive workloads, and these are powerful CPU VMs that provides high throughput network interface. Now let's see what are the high availability deployment options available for a virtual machine. When you deploy your virtual machines, you have an option to choose the desired high availability models that are availability sets and availability zones. If you place your virtual machine without any availability options, which means your standalone VM will have a 99.9% SLA from Microsoft if your VM backed by premium storage. So single VM ideal for non-critical workloads. In case your application needs higher SLA like 99.95% or 99.99%, then you shall place your virtual machines under the respective availability options. If you placed your virtual machine under availability set, then your machines are protected against power failure and update failure within the Azure data center. Eventually, this option will give you 99.95% SLA. If your virtual machine placed across availability zones, then your virtual machines are protected against data center failure and 99.99% SLA guaranteed by Microsoft. Azure offering one more high availability options, that is VM scale sets. And VM scale sets are designed for high-end workloads where you have an ability to auto-scale your virtual machines up to 1000 instances based on CPU or memory metrics that you can configure. For example, if your virtual machine CPU utilization hits 60%, and scale sets can add another instance, and when the CPU usage comes back to normal, it can remove the instance. And this is the best example for horizontal scaling. Now let's see what are the inputs required when you are creating a virtual machines. There are several inputs required to create a virtual machine, and you can pass these inputs either through Azure portal or command lines. Primarily, they are divided into several categories, which are basic, disk, network, advanced and managements. In basic, first you have to select the subscription, resource group name, and then region. Then you have an availability option. This is the place you decide whether you need an high availability option such as availability zones or availability sets. Finally, you have an options to choose the desired image like Windows or Linux and the image sizes like B series VM or F series VM depending on your workload requirements. From disk perspective, you have few options to select. You can choose the disk type such as standard HDD, standard SSD or premium SSD, and also you have to decide if you are going to use the managed disk or unmanaged disk. From networking perspective, you have to provide the virtual network subnet details. In production scenarios, networking layout should exist already, so you can choose your existing VNet. In case you don't have any existing VNet, then this wizard will let you create the new virtual network. You can also define the network security group for your virtual machines. And accelerated networking, and this feature you cannot enable accelerated networking for all virtual machine types, as this is applicable only for selected virtual machine types such as high performance computing, where you get the high network throughput. You can also enable load balancer in case if you are planning to have a multiple instance, otherwise this option is not required. On the advanced tab, you can select your virtual machine type such as Gen 1 or Gen 2. Gen 2 supports the new features like UEFI boot, and host group provides the ability to place your virtual machines on the dedicated physical servers, and PPG is the proximity placement group, and that is designed for latency sensitive applications. On the management tab, you have few more options like detailed monitoring, boot diagnostics, managed identity, auto shutdown, enabling backup. These settings are optional. Depending on the specific scenarios, you may enable these features. So creating virtual machines, it's a very easy task. All you have to do here is just provide these inputs and submit the deployment. Your virtual machine will be ready shortly. Now let's see how do we secure our virtual machines. Let's start from operating system. First, you need to make sure your virtual machine protected with endpoint protections such as Windows Defender. Then you can have the necessary security policies applied on your operating system. There are several security baselines available from Microsoft. You can apply these security baselines on your operating system as needed. You can also try to limit the RDP SSH traffic wherever possible. So you can use the features like Azure Bastion Service, just-in-time access that helps to minimize the attack surface. Also, you can make sure you have applied the network security group on the subnet level, also the network interface card level. So you can allow the only required traffic and deny rest all. From software updates perspective, ensure you have the right update management solutions for your Windows and Linux machines. Azure provides the built-in update management solution that could fulfill your software update requirements. From disk perspective, ensure your virtual machine disks are encrypted. Finally, review the Security Center recommendations and take the corrective actions. Azure Portal have a built-in Security Center that provides the security recommendations for your Azure resources. Now let's see what are the architectural considerations with respect to virtual machines. First, it's very important to decide the right VM size as it affects your application performance and cost. So you have to decide your right VM size based on how much compute power you require for your applications. From high availability perspective, you need to make sure your virtual machine required any high availability options. If so, you can plan to place your machines in availability sets or availability zones. From security perspective, develop the correct security baselines for your virtual machines. You can also plan to have some automation solution for your virtual machines so you can eliminate the repetitive jobs. Finally, you have to have the right backup solution for your virtual machines. Also have the right DR strategy for your virtual machine, so in the event of any regional failures, your workloads will be protected. Let's quickly summarize what we have discussed. First, we discussed what's virtual machine, and then deployment options. Then we discussed about the various inputs required for VM creation. Finally, we saw some of the security and architectural considerations. Hope these informations demystified some of the Azure Virtual Machine fundamentals which you can apply when you are architecting your cloud solutions. We do provide cloud consulting, architectural reviews for our customer cloud solutions. If you need our support, please do contact us. In the next module, we will explore all aspects of Azure Active Directory. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss our updates. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next update.